Hey, it's Aaron the Metal Theologian. I don't have Spencer today, so he has a shitload of homework that he's working on, so I gotta figure this camera shit out for myself. It's kind of fucked. Yeah, it's not a real topic today. I just haven't made a video in a while, so I felt like it was kind of time. So I just, for the occasion, put this on, this classic release from Agony, which, fuck, is this thing in the way or something? Oh, there we go. I don't know what the hell was going on there. Yeah, we have this classic going on, Release from Agony. It's one of the greatest record covers of all time, too, you know? It actually kind of reminds me of The Thing. I mean, it seems like it was probably inspired by that to a certain degree, you know, the remake from the 80s, but which is fantastic. The original is good, but alright, so yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I've been listening to and fucking shoot the shit a little bit, and you know, hopefully it won't be too boring. If it is, you don't have to watch. Although you won't know till it's over, so that'd be a sick prank. Alright, so check this out. I've been drinking all this weird shit all the time, so I figured today I'm just going to have a plain, like, vanilla root beer, specifically a Frosty, which I think is our Michigan brand. Yeah, Detroit. Yeah, we talked about this, I think a while ago in an earlier video, but, anyway, here we go. Let's give it a shot. I'm expecting it's going to taste like a vanilla root beer. I mean, Frosty. I don't think I've had the specific one, but, you know, I'm not really expecting to be surprised by this, but we'll see. Yeah, it's really good. Tastes like a root beer, I don't know how to articulate this. I feel like it's like a really strong root beer flavor, but it settles more in the front of your mouth than sort of further back. Like instead of sort of the brewed flavor that sort of settles into your like mouth and your upper throat, and that it sort of like lifts you up a little bit. You know what I mean? It kind of hangs in the front and sort of like expresses itself. Like I feel like I'm saying it's going up my nose or something. Like it's really unpleasant. It's not. It's actually really nice. It's sort of a different feel, even though it's really a pure root beer taste. Yeah, it's a good root beer, man. I would drink this again. I guess I can get a little bit of vanilla overtone in that, but fundamentally, man, this is just a nice root beer. So, it might be it's the vanilla thing, like sort of, you know, bringing it forward or whatever that shit is. But, it's a good drink, man. Man, I love my root beer. You know, as many of you probably know, I lived in Germany for about 5 years in the 80s. And two things I couldn't get there were, one was root beer, another was Dr. Pepper. I was totally hooked on both for the longest time because of that. Dr. Pepper I backed off on a lot. I mean, I still like it just fine, right? And like I've done like sort of similar drinks before in here, but the root beer thing has stayed with me. And in fact, it's not even just me. My brother, I mean, he's 7 years younger than me, but he did the same thing with the root beer, where like that's like his favorite drink. Like if he's coming to visit, I'll like stock up root beer and shit, just like to be a good host. So. Just fucking with this thing. So, yeah, it's like it hit both of us really hard. So, and the funny thing is, I think we inherited it from our dad. So, I could start going into like issues here, like make this like this big psychological thing. But I think rather than do that, I'll talk about some fucking records. So, we covered the first Destruction. I also played this one again. This is a great record. I've talked about this one before. I actually listened to this while I was talking about Cold Chain Records once, which was one of those videos that just seemed natural at the time, but I looked at it now and it seems really hilarious to me that I did that. Not to brag about my videos, I mean, for all I know they all suck, but, you know, it feels good when you go back and look at one. You go, yeah, it was pretty cool, you know, and I would encourage all of you to do that too, you know. Even if it's one that you're not really proud of, that's just where you were at that time. You know, probably my favorite composer is Messiaen. And one thing I read with him that really, like, kind of inspired me was, you know, he said something in an interview to the effect, like, he hated it when composers look back at their early works. And I said, oh, that was such shit, I've come so far since then, I don't like that stuff. Because that's where you were then, and this is where you are now, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? And when you listen to how many bands there are, and composers, too, for that matter, but more so with, like, rock bands, where, like, their early shit is just the best shit, and then they sort of like go downhill from there, or stay great, you know what I mean? Like a band like Voivod, you know what I mean? But those early records are still fantastic. They're different, but that doesn't mean they aren't great, you know? So one of the things that was really sort of made me feel good when I started making videos, that I could go back up to my early ones and go, instead of being embarrassed, to go, oh, you know, that was actually pretty good, you know what I mean? And so I would encourage anyone watching this who also makes videos to sort of take a similar attitude towards your shit, because it's been healthy for me. So anyway, that's enough of my advice section, except that you should run out and buy a copy of Eternal Devastation immediately, because you should, if you don't already have it. That's the only reason not. Here's another one. I actually have a little bit of a karma story with this one. This is kind of funny. So, this one actually just came today. This is Welcome to the Show by Dry Cell. It's a recent reissue. This year, I'm pretty sure. Out of Germany, I think. Anyway, there's an Icelandic band. And the original record goes for like hundreds of dollars. I thought it was closer to $1,000, but I went and looked it up, and it's more like in the $300 to $500 range. So whatever. I mean, frankly, the cover like this, that's more than I'm going to spend. If it is a cover like Metal from Hell by Satan's Host, I'm going to think about it. But a cover like this, you know, not so much. But I really wanted to hear it, so I finally got my hands on this. Okay, it comes in the mail, right? I get home from work today, and I don't know if anyone knows, but you know, I mean, I live in the South too, right? I'm not in Houston. But it's been pissing down rain all day long, just like nonstop. So I get home, and the fucking box that this thing is in has been sitting on my porch for close enough to the stairs that like it's just soaking wet. Like, you know. So I go inside, and the whole like, I open it up and like the whole like edge of this is like kind of wavy. I was like, shit, man! I thought I dodged a bullet there. Spencer, it's funny. He was like, "Oh, you think the record get damaged?" I was like, "No, the record's gonna be fine. The cover is what I'm worried about." So it was like waving. I was like, "God damn it!" So I was kind of pissed. You know what I mean? I was like, "Fucking, I'm mailman. You know, leaving the shit on the edge there. Couldn't he put it a little further back or something?" And I was like, all set to like go and start bitching. But I was like, you know something? I don't ever like to bitch about the mailman, because as far as I'm concerned, that's shitting where you know what I mean? My mailman, not a spring chicken. And given how lazy I am, I know I sure as hell wouldn't feel like walking all the way up to everyone's patio all the time. So I'm indebted to this person anyway, right? And and on top of it, it might not have been raining when they came. You know what I mean? So I thought about all this shit. I was like, okay, I'm not going to go online and start bitching to people about it, because that's just shit karma, and I don't want to do that. I'll just suck it up. You win some, you lose some, right? So I come back a couple hours later, and look at this. Fucking thing flattened itself out. Like, it was damp. There were like from moisture like in the package or something like that was making it wave, but I didn't think it was going to straighten out, and it fucking completely did, man. You would never know. So that was my good karma, man, that I accumulated by not talking shit about my mailman. So be good to your mailman, and don't bitch about the fucking U.S. Postal Service, because they're awesome. Yeah, alright, more words of advice out of the metal theologian there. This is a great record. Fucking Heavy Load, I've talked about it before. This band really kind of represents like the 80s Swedish sound, maybe more than any other band. I would say that, what the fuck is it called? The one where he's fighting the polar bear. Death or Glory, I want to say. I'm not sure if that's right. I don't know. I'm spacing. But that record and Swords and Axes by Overdrive are like the dynamic duo of like Swedish metal from the 80s. As far as epitomizing that sound, this record carries it forward though, man. I've listened to this twice in the last 2 days, and it's just fucking great. Look at that. It's fucking Thor's Hammer on there, from back before the NSBM bands appropriated that shit. So, yeah, look how awesome they look, too, man. They fucking live up to that, too. So good. So, yeah, Heavy Load. This is a really great record. It has a little bit of a hard, rocky vibe, but this is a tougher one to find, for sure. But this is the Image record, the EP. Look at that. That fucking guy reminds you of Phil Collins. It's kind of shitty pencil drawing. Like, you can tell, like, you see the texture of, like, the paper that they sketched it on. I don't know, man. It's kind of a crap cover, the back. I mean, the front, now that's what gets my juices flowing. I see, like, a cover like this. I'm like, let me take out my wallet right now, you know? This is a solid record domain. I think with a name like Image, they'd be a little bit on the weak side. These guys have a little bit of a hard, rocky vibe, but really it just vibes out that way. It's actually, from the songwriting standpoint, it's total metal, man. There's like one song on this that slows down a little bit, but this record's really listenable all the way through. And again, that's one of the virtues of doing a 4-track EP. I'm going to show the label from this one too, because it looks so indie and private. It's kind of awesome. I think showing labels is kind of boring a lot of the time, but look at that. That's another thing that gets me going, man. If I see a fucking label like that, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I don't care what it sounds like. Actually, I do care a lot what it sounds like, but I'll still buy it. God damn it. Come on, get in there, you fucker. I got another story about this next one here. I might have told this story before, but fuck it. If I haven't, it's probably been a while. And this is the story of the best quarter I ever spent. This is the best quarter I ever spent right here. And, look at that back cover, man. Fucking Fatal Portrait. I think this might have had an insert. This one didn't, but like I said, for a quarter, man, you can't fucking argue. I got this at a parking lot sale, which they have sometimes in LA. I don't know if you live outside of LA. Actually, I've lived outside of LA. What am I saying? I haven't really seen them elsewhere, but it seemed to be kind of a thing in LA for a while. At least when I was living there. I got this at Rhino Records, though, which was in, like, Westwood at the time, like on Pico and maybe Westwood, I don't know, right around that area. Anyway, they had a bunch of shit for a quarter. I got a copy of this. I got the first copy I ever owned of Virgin Killer, which was really kind of the record. That was really kind of my entree to the Scorpions. It's not like I'd never heard them before or anything, or even owned any of their shit, but that was the first time I was like, okay, let me listen to Scorpions, where I put it on and went, wow, this is really fucking good. I mean, that was like the turning point for me, you know, where I went from like being lukewarm to not really fond of the Scorpions to just going, this is a fucking fantastic band. Yeah, and I also got a copy of Trilogy by Yngwie Malmsteen, and that record was not worth a quarter. It's a total fucking piece of shit, just like everything that guy ever touched. So, I don't know, I've heard people say that the earlier ones are better, but it's hard for me to buy that motherfucker could ever do anything but, like, take a shit all over a goddamn tape recorder and fucking put it out like it's something anybody other than his goddamn mother would want to hear. And his mother's probably dead, so it just goes to show. Alright, underrated Manila Road record. I've talked about Manila Road a lot, so I won't dwell on this one a lot, but I will just reiterate that this is an awesome record. I saw some reviews of it online where people weren't so enamored with this one. Like, out of the later ones, this one's like the last 5 years or so. I want to say 2012-ish. I don't remember. I don't see it right off. But, yeah, Playground of the Damned. This really has some of my favorite songs on it from the later era. And I just played it the other day, and it still blew me away. Just as good as ever. It wasn't like a one-time thing. Alright. I listened to some death metal. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't death metal at all. This is the one that Greeno got. That, like, I told him about when I was up there visiting, and the wrong record was in it, so he thought it was death metal. If you want to hear that whole story, you have to watch one of his old videos. The record ended up making it to a good home. But yeah, this is Oblivion Night, and this is actually kind of like a power metal, like with some proggy overtones. Fucking really good, man. I mean, they're from Texas, which is almost all you need to know as far as, like, American metal goes. If they're from Texas, 90% chance they're great, and there's another 5% chance they're good. More than that, there's like a 2% chance they're gonna suck. This actually has Mike Solis on it, who was with Militia. I want to say there's someone from like Watchtower or something like that in this band too, but there's a couple other guys. But you know, Oblivion Night never got past the demo stage while they were together. Steel Legacy Records, who made some fantastic fucking records, including the next one I'll show. They did beat that thing a really nice vinyl treatment, and I'm really glad I grabbed that when it came out. The other one, probably the release that they're best known for, is this one. This is the Tyrant from the UK, who only ever made 145 while they were together, called Hold Back the Lightning, which I'm actually going to put on, because it's one of the greatest things ever. And it's really like an epic metal type of thing, and you almost never heard that from Britain. But this record just captures it. It's so good. The hooks are fucking fantastic. And the song is just great across the board. The delivery is powerful, and like they're convinced of what they're doing. It's, you know, balls out and unself-conscious. And the production is really just right. You know, it's not overproduced. Could be a little bit better produced. But, yeah. And it was like 145 that came out in like 84. And now people have turned on to it, right? I mean, that's one that I don't have an original of. I've seen things sell for like $800. So, yeah, but this label, Steel Legacy, to bring it back to them, they tracked him down and put out this LP that has both sides of the 45, which is the first 2 songs on this, and then a bunch of demo material. Now, you probably know about me and bonus tracks if you've watched my video before. I fucking hate them, generally speaking. But this record, fucking every song is great, man. Like, the worst songs are only very good, you know? So this is one exception, like, that proves the real rule or something, because the other shit is just awesome, man, the whole thing. So you'll see for yourself, though. Showing that again, because you can't argue with the pencil drawing there. I don't know, it's funny, I just cracked on the image pencil drawing, but I don't know. What can I say? Cuts both ways. So, and speaking of, I played this again. It's funny, there's that front cover and then this back cover, right? They look like the Crew. But this record is heavy, man. These guys are great. And I feel really fortunate that I got the chance to see these guys live at the Troubadour in LA. It's funny, all these LA stores are coming up today, I don't know. Yeah, they made a 45 called Caution, which is great. They made this record, Don't Take No for an Answer, which is probably my favorite by them. And then they made another one that had the song that was in The Decline of Western Civilization, Part 2. And that one isn't bad. That one has some good songs on it, but, you know, they're going a little bit of a glammier direction. This is just fucking balls out metal, man. I mean, there's a ballad on here, which isn't, like, totally insufferable, but it's the weakest song on here. It's called Shining Love, you know? But every other song on here, I mean, like, The Writer, you wouldn't think it would be a really great song, right? Or One Day to Live, maybe. Great. Good shit. Don't Take No for an Answer. I mean, that sounds like kind of a weak title to me. It's a fantastic song. Yeah, and they were awesome when I saw them around, like, 2001-ish. No, 2003 or 4, somewhere in there. Fucking Odin, man. Alright, here's an obvious one. Look at that. I told a couple people I was listening to this one, and said, you know, I'll bet that's the most recent Ozzy he has. Unless he has The Ultimate Sin, but hates it. And I was like, shit. Am I that predictable? Fucking, as option B, I do have a copy of The Ultimate Sin. I think it's a turd. Although I'm tempted to bust it out, just like to be contrary, you know? In fact, I would do it right now, but if I do, I know that the fucking copyright cops will come around, whereas I doubt Tyrant is like policing and shit. There's a UK press, though, that has the song Spiders on it. I don't know what it was on the US press. I remember that song kind of fondly. That was a friend of mine's favorite song back in the 80s, like on this record. Here's another one I talked about this. It's funny, I forgot it was sitting here, but Swords and Axes by Overdrive. Again, look at those fucking guys, man. But this record is so good, man. This is like Swedish metal. Jesus Christ, man, that fucking chest hair, oh my god. That with the mustache, it's unbelievable. And the mullet, I mean, Jesus, man. This record is so good, though, man. I mean, this is like a, you know, I wouldn't say top 20, but I can say that about, like, half of these records, probably, so. But this is really, see, I say that, but, like, that's really an exceptional record. Just fucking trust me on it. Let's put it this way. This record probably has more notoriety. Got this Gotham City record, The Unknown, which I wasn't going to talk about because I haven't played it yet. It's not fresh in your mind. But last time I played it, I like, for my money, the Overdrive's better, and it costs about a third what this one costs. So, if that even. So, yeah, jump on that shit. We're on a little bit of a Dio kick. Yeah, it's funny. Those are like the themes, is like Swedish shit and Dio, because when I'll just whip through these. I was surprised at how weak this one was. I remember when this one came out, like all the hype and shit, so when I went and Shave Another Chance, I was like, oh, you know, I'll bet that's a cool one that I just didn't like really appreciate at the time, because of course I knew the other ones, right? Listen to this. Awesome. But this sucks, man, this record. I mean, it's not all bad, right? The first 2 songs are good. I kind of like All the Fools Sailed Away in spite of myself. But those are really the only other good songs on here. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 more songs of a 9-track record, so a third of it is good. The other 2/3 is just like weak to bad. It's disappointing, man. That's probably one of his best covers right there. Although it's hard to argue with this cover, right? Listen to this. So good. Yeah, so this is classic, obvious. I'm not even going to talk about this. It's too obvious. Another one. Here, let's do this one too. I played them all. Turn that up a little bit. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to cover me. It's funny, it's mixed so much lower than the Destruction I was playing before. For 20 minutes, so I'm going to try and wrap this up pretty soon. Another really good Swedish one, man. In fact, this record for me, sort of personally, is kind of a historically significant one, because this is one of the first ones where I was like, wow, this fucking Swedish band I've never heard of, it's fantastic. And I just got this on the strength of the cover, you know? I was like, wow. They're like, it was way beyond my expectations. I listen to it now that I'm hip to shit like Overdrive and Heavy Load, and I only think this record is great, as opposed to like absolutely mind-blowing. But it's a fucking great record, and this thing is usually cheap when it turns up, man. So fucking jump on it. Torch, man. They made a couple others too. Electric Kiss has a really dumb cover, and it tends to be even cheaper than this one. There are a couple of EPs that are a little harder to find, but you can get that Torch shit, man. It's so fucking good. Alright, here's one, my fucking homemade cover, because there's a picture disc. This one is like Thin Lizzy, like way after the fact, except it wasn't, because this record's like 1980. It's a band that gets lumped in with the new wave of British heavy metal, but they have a Thin Lizzy sort of Wishbone Ash kind of vibe. Again, originals are super expensive, so I settled for this picture disc reissue. And this thing sounds really good if you manage to track one of these down. It's probably hard now too, but I got it when it came out. But yeah, Let Battle Commence by Warrior, a little nobody UK band. I want to say they're from the Isle of Man. Yeah, it just has the label on here, which is Vinyl Tap, which is a record store out there. And they're in West Yorkshire. But anyway, these guys, maybe they're out from there. I don't know where the hell they're from. It's a really cool record. It's very sort of understated, very hard rocky. But from the songwriting standpoint, it's not as sort of focused on the storytelling as like Thin Lizzy, but it sort of feels the same way. It gives that sort of the feeling of like telling stories and I don't know, just engaging you on that level, you know what I mean? It's almost sort of like they're sitting in your living room with you, playing with you. That sort of intimate feel to them in the way that the really good Thin Lizzy stuff does to my ears. So, yeah, that's a really cool record, Let Battle Commence. Here's another German one that I'm kind of rebusting out, man. Gravestone, Let Battle Commence. Or not Battle. Fucking mixing up my records. Victim of Chains. It's their third record. The first two were private presses and more like hard rock. Actually, I don't have the second one. I only have the first one. And that one's almost like... I mean, I have that in my 70s section. Transformation is complete, though, man. This is total metal. And, really good, but I don't want to say too much because it's not fresh in my mind. I'll probably play it when I'm done with this video. Yeah, and I think that's, what I've got. Yeah, I'm just going to end with this one because it's so fucking good and the cover is so awesome. But I've talked about Living Death a lot. This is just a great record. And this is probably my favorite Living Death record. I mean, it's pretty close between this one and Protected from Reality. It's hard to pick, but these are both so awesome, man. And look at that shit, dude. How cool is that? So, yeah, definitely a big metal kick, but, what can I say? Yeah, it's the way it is, and, yeah, I don't know, man. One of these days when I come back and start listening, I don't know, jazz or something again, but I've just been enjoying the fuck out of this metal, man, so, it goes great when you're playing, like, fucking Dragon Warrior on the Nintendo and shit, which I've been doing a lot of. In fact, I have my Band-Aid there to, like, protect my ring finger, because I, like, press the controller on it and, like, give myself a blister, so I'm going to play some more when I'm done. That's why it's still on. So, thanks for watching, and until next time, let's see if I can figure out how to stop this. Fuck.